Beats Planet.
Hello? Hello? What are we doing? Oh, man, hold up, y'all. Let me get set up, man, because everything's so last minute. Everything just going just all over the place. All right, hold on. Can I hear me? I'm loud. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm loud. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Testing. What's up, y'all? Oh man, sorry I'm late. It's 7:13. I had the counter set for 7, but this how it worked though. They don't give us a 7:15 to prepare for. They were like, "Hey, you either gonna be live at 7 or you're gonna be live at 7:30." And I feel like I'm closer to 7 than 7:30, so I'm like, "Y'all be alright. Y'all ain't going nowhere. I hope y'all ain't going nowhere." Hello? Can y'all hear me now? I'm just testing my volume out. We just trying to get this thing perfect. I'm looking at my chat box. What y'all got? Can y'all hear me? Still low? I know what I need to do. Hold on. I need to go to OBS and I need to pull this down button way up and pull this down. Yeah. Yup. I know that's much better. You ain't gonna tell me that ain't better. If that ain't better, I'm leaving and going to go do something else in my life. If that ain't better. There it is. Okay, cool. Let me take a sip of my happy juice. Hold on. All right, y'all. Because I'm already 15 minutes in the tank. Space Cowboy say, can you make it louder? Fast forward. Stephanie say, what's up? What's up, Steph? Philly Cowboy. PC, what's up, man? Space Cowboy, Chris, Josh. All right. So peep this out, y'all. So I was taking a walk the other day. And I was bored as hell. I ain't had nothing else to do. So, we came with the whole let's super study these sacks so we can figure this thing out. It's the off season. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. And I feel like the conversation is constantly lingering because it hasn't been properly addressed yet. Like when a conversation gets addressed, then we kind of stop talking about it in the community or whatever. But we still don't know who was least effective out of Connor and Xavier Su'a-Filo because nobody stepped up with the research yet, or y'all still don't believe me about my Lael Collins take or my Xavier Su'a-Filo takes because sometimes I got to show you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. And I did this live stream because I dropped the Dak video 2 days ago, how many sacks were on him. And then I kind of got, let me show y'all this, just so y'all won't think that, ain't nothing sweet out here. OBS, cool. So this is my notepad. Pardon me, I write like a kindergartner. You know what I'm saying? It's not written in crayon or nothing like that. But I took 58 sacks, and I charted them all from top to bottom, and I wrote whose fault it is, okay? It was either single sacks, it was either like you had some help, like 2 people were the cause of this sack, or everybody got together like the Avengers to get Dak's ass whooped, okay? And as you can see, I got names there. I got Dak, not us. That was probably Xavier Su'a-Filo that I crossed out. Tyron, not us. See what I'm saying? So I went through all of this, and I came up all the way till I got to 58 sacks. It's 56 sacks, but it's 2 in the playoffs. And I came up with this comprehensive little situation here, and I'm bad at math. I'm going to show y'all later. With this little situation here to kind of break down, in my personal opinion, where I feel like these 58 sacks came from. And I'm gonna show you on the screen, so it's not just me saying an opinion and just hoping y'all go for the shit or whatever. Like, there's no sorcery here. Like, everything that I believe, I'm gonna put on the screen and tell y'all why I think that. Now, am I right or wrong for thinking that? I don't know. That's up to y'all to decide or whatever. But we'll see there. Um, I'm still getting some cut the volume up a little bit, so I'm just gonna hit that a little bit. So, so the conclusion that I came up with, right, out of 58 sacks, which is a lot, which is way too many, which is second in the league behind Deshaun Watson. Too much. Out of these 58 sacks, Dak was responsible for 16 of them. Okay, now 16 sacks out of 18 games being purely his fault, I'll kind of take that for a couple reasons. And I actually learned this while I was watching the film, that we have a quarterback that's not a statue. And sometimes you got to take sacks to kind of have that perk, so to speak, right? It makes sense that the most sack guys in the league are scrambly guys, or guys that can, improvise and move around. So we may hate on Dak for holding the ball, improvising, and scrambling around. But on that same token, we should praise Dak when it's the end of the game versus the Giants and he's scrambling. He's holding the ball long, but he finds bees in the back of the end zone and he throws and we score a touchdown there. You know what I mean? So we kind of got to take both sides. Or he catches the ball, scrambles, nothing is there, then he rushes for a first down or whatever. So we got to take all those things into account. So what I learned with these 16 sacks from Dak Prescott, and I kind of want to break it down just a little bit more, it mostly came down to him improvising, the pocket being pushed, receivers not really getting open. And, Dak's a young guy, so he ain't really, pardon me, he may not have the whole, oh, snap, tick, 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 do this or throw it away type of thing down yet. He's just so used to being a gangster making things happen. You know what I mean? He's just so used to things moving forward that he may not have that full grasp on how to be what older quarterbacks are. People say, well, Voch, you're making excuses for Dak. Voch, Dak should be better than this, da-da-da, boom, boom, boom. Here's my counter to that. Young quarterbacks really don't rip shit up. Sorry, Steph, for cussing. I know Stephanie hates when I cuss. I had to get that out. I'm going to cuss one more time. Young quarterbacks really don't rip shit up unless they got one of these hot shot OCs. Okay? So when you look at Money Mitch, you look at Jared Goff, what Taysom Hill is able to do with Sean Payton, or Carson with Doug Peterson. These guys are Pat Mahomes with Andy Reid. These guys are able to do upper level quarterback stuff because they got fantastic OCs. If you look at the other quarterbacks, like in their mid-20s, you look at Kirk. Hell, throw in Robert Griffin in there since, they got drafted by the same team, same season. You look at guys like Kirk, guys like Garoppolo, guys like Matt Stafford. They're kind of just now getting up there because they're in their mid-20s or so. They're in the 27, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28 range, right? Look at the guys like Jameis Winston. Right, look at Marcus Mariota. Those guys may not fully figure it out because, one, they don't have high shot OCs that's making it easy for them, so they got to go through the typical I got to get better stuff. Shouts out to Space Cowboy. Let me go to his tweet so I can pull up that stat. Where's my phone? I was looking at this one stat of Ben Roethlisberger in a Super Bowl, and it made my neck itch. I can't stand it. And it kind of gives you an idea of how good or bad these younger guys are, these younger quarterbacks are. We look at guys like Ben or Tom Brady or like Aaron Rodgers. When they were younger guys, they ain't the guy that they are now. Quarterbacks really don't get good till they 27, 28, 29. That's just my theory. If you're a young quarterback, you kind of getting this on your own or whatever. Let me Space Cowboy. Where that damn tweet at? There we go. You kind of figuring this thing on your own. So like even Russell Wilson, people they'll say Russell Wilson's name. He had a nasty ass run game and a top tier defense. When that defense kind of crumbled and Marshawn Lynch went to go play elsewhere, we ain't really seen him in that same vein. You know what I'm saying? Matt Stafford 31. Who the fuck cares? He's Matt Stafford. But in that category of guys, right? Matt's starting to figure it out now. Matt seems like a better quarterback than he used to be. Matt Stafford used to have Megatron, man. Like Matt used to have like some gangsters, you know what I'm saying? And he couldn't really get it right, but Matt's a little better now. And now they're still trying to figure out what pieces to put around Matt to make this thing work. That's called the Detroit Lions. We know what makes Dak work. You know what I'm saying? And you may say Dak can't, be good without Zeke, but we've seen Dak do it. So, but anyway, I'm getting off on this little tangent here. What I was saying was, sure, Dak got some things to work on, quarterback wise. But as a football player, as an intangible guy, as a tough guy, I think like as a regular ass, winning ass quarterback, I think Dak is fine. But he's got to work on things like pocket presence, and that comes with time. He's got to work on things like throwing with anticipation, seeing things before it happens, things like that. Everything that Dak has to work on, you can look at and go, he can work on that. He can fix that. You know what I mean? I can't vouch for some quarterback that I'm talking about Kirk Cousins here. I can't vouch for a quarterback that can throw for 5,000 yards and not be great. That's an oxymoron in my mind. Thank you, Chris. That's what I was looking for. Ben went 9 for 21 in the Super Bowl. That's ridiculous. But so when I'm looking at these 16 sacks from young Rain Dakota Prescott, I'm looking at these 16 sacks. Most of them came from him trying to be Superman. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to have a little Superman in. I kind of want my quarterback to be a little Superman, right? Most of this comes from Dak being Superman, running into sacks, or Dak scrambling. He'll get out of bounds, and he'll run out of bounds, right? Like he'll go all the way out of bounds just to not get sacked. He'll like lose 1 yard, but it's recorded as a sack. So that brings Dak number down to like what, 14, 13, and a couple others. So in real life, Dak really only is responsible for like 8 or so sacks, which ain't a bad number. I dropped that film session. Y'all can go take a look at that. Check that out. Do what y'all want to do with that. So this is where we at now. We got a whole nother 42 sacks that we got to figure out. And I'm making these videos for every offensive lineman. I got Tyron, Connor, Joe Looney, Zach Martin, Lael Collins, Xavier Suafilo, Cam Fleming, even little ass Adam Redmond. Adam Redmond played a game and got 2 sacks, boy. And I have this last category that's not us. And 10 of those sacks just don't belong to us, whether it be some play call stuff, scheme stuff. If I feel like a defender just made a fantastic play, I would label that as not us. So 42 minus 10, so 32. 32 sacks that we got to figure out from the rest of these guys. And in 35 minutes, I'm going to be dropping my film session on Lael Collins. He actually led our offensive lineman in sacks. He was first place with a mean whopping 8.5. That's with the singular sacks. That's with the half sacks, and he also got like some triples in there. But I'm gonna show y'all all this. And I hate to be pat myself on the back. I hate to be pat myself on the back guy, but when I'm watching film every week, and I break down the film and I put it on the screen, and I'm showing y'all, look, man, I think we got a problem at offensive line. You go, nah, Voch, we winning. We ain't got a problem at offensive line. I'm like, bro, Xavier Suafilo is trash and Lael Collins is getting his ass beat. I think we got a problem at offensive line. Nah, Voch, you bugging. We winning. We get into the offseason like, yo, I think we need to draft offensive line. Nah, Voch, you want to draft offensive line because you used to play offensive line, Mark Holmes, because you used to play offensive line. And it takes you to go back and watch Lael Collins give up this whopping 8.5 sacks and 2/3. That's like, what, 10.5, whatever the fraction is. I'm not smart with math. I'm watching Lael Collins just give up these sacks. And it's not like Dak holding the ball too long, because I had what I call the Mississippi 4 Mississippi counts, right? In 7-on-7, whether it be like you playing 7-on-7 football or whatever, if there's not an offensive line, you got 4 seconds to get the ball out. 4 full seconds, right? That was 1, 2002, 2003, 2004, you sacked. There's a little thing that gets beeped at these 7-on-7 tournaments. When it beeps, you're sacked. Okay, so Lael Collins is responsible for 8.5 and whatever the third is. I'm not good at math. He's responsible for that many sacks under 4 seconds, which is a lot, which is plenty. And then the way he's getting beat, he's getting beat with speed, he's getting beat with power, he's getting beat with setup moves, he's getting beat with bull rushes. And I'm like, what natural disaster did you lose your heart in, Lael? You know what I'm saying? Like fight a little bit. And, people saying that they want Lael to play guard. I see Miss Scalper. Hey, Miss Scouting Pro, I ain't say hey to you. I actually did a film session. I went live and I only got 2,000 views, but so people probably didn't see it or whatever. But I did a film session. I went back to go watch Lael Collins at guard, and he's having the same problems. He's missing with his hands. He'll still get. He got bull rush that guard. He got speed rush that guard. Set up counter that guard. Right. So I'm to a point to where I'm just ready to call Lael inconsistent. I don't want to call him bad, because he could have a good year this year, but he's very inconsistent. I wish I knew the answers, because I remember just like in 2017, Lael was blocking Von Miller. He was blocking Khalil Mack. He was dealing with Kerrigan and Jace Pierre-Paul. He was playing some of the best guys. Justin Houston. So I don't really know what the hell Lael's problem was, or it must be a mind game or something, but he got his ass whooped a bunch. And I'm gonna show y'all that video at the end of this thing, of him leading us in sacks, and then I'm gonna do the Connor Suafilo video after that. So we'll cross that road whenever we get there. Y'all can call into the show and tell me what y'all think about that, about the Dak video, or just what you think about just any topic at all, or what you want to say to me. The number is 515-606-5187, access code 309-104. Let me check and see if the phone's live. Yes, they are live. Cool. And in 30 minutes, I'm about to go watch Gordon Ramsay and MasterChef and have this thing good to go here. But anyway, like I was saying, so I don't really know what the whole problem with Lael was last year. But he kind of got beat by everybody, like at least one time, or just whatever. He just lost a lot. So when I'm saying, hey, we need to draft offensive linemen, it's not me saying let's push Lael off a bridge, because he could still be great. Like Lael could come out next year and have a fantastic year. But you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a backup plan, because if he comes out and give us the same kind of year that he gave us last year, that's kind of gonna, that's kind of gonna make my head hurt. And let me ask y'all this. I just want to ask y'all this as a chat box. We're all Cowboys fans here. Everybody that's saying Lael Collins should play guard, and I agree, he should play a little bit of guard, right? But are we saying that because of that one play versus Seattle where we saw him pull and hit Bobby Wagner and then go hit whoever the hell was playing corner on that side? Like, is that the reason why he should play guard? Because that's where his highlights are? Or do you really think he's a better guard than tackle? You see what I'm saying? I really want y'all to go back and watch the video. And I hate when y'all watch the videos I want y'all to watch. I hate when y'all don't watch the videos I want y'all to watch, but I get like 30,000 views on some bullshit that I was throwing out. Like, I hate that. Like, come on, man. I think that one highlight of him versus Seattle, pulling out into the pulling out in the open space or whatever. I think that's the one play that kind of got people. Miss Scott Pro says, "No, you ignore me." I did not. I think that one highlight play is the one that got people so caught up with Lael should be guard. Lael should be there, because I did the research. I'm not just making this up. I did the goddamn research. I'm not making this up. But strictly this year, man, we can count 8.5 of those sacks and whatever the 2/3 sacks are or whatever. But I think we'll be fine this year, though. I think we'll be fine this year. And the only reason I would want Lael to play guard is because I think I would rather have one problem than two. I still think if you move Lael to guard, he'll be a better player there. But I don't want Connor Williams at guard anymore. I want Connor Williams at right tackle. And I think that's really where he's going to settle in at. But he's big as hell now, so I think he'll be good to go there. What else I got on my docket here? And why is Lael Collins leading in sacks? I don't know. Because look, to be fair, I did say this to be fair. If you had to look at the people that's on Lael Collins' offensive line, what's up, Twan? That's on the offensive line with Lael Collins. If I told you that he led the line in sacks, you should probably believe me. Like, it makes sense. Tyron Smith gave up, let's see. Give me third. I can't read my own hand right. That's why it's taking me a second. Tyron Smith gave up 4 sacks. Zach Martin gave up 2.5, which is incredible. Because who was that cat that called in my show that one time that was talking about Lael Collins is the better offensive lineman and Zach Martin need to go? Who was that guy? I don't know. Zach Martin only gave up. He only gave up 2.5 sacks, and one of those, and one like was a 30 sack or whatever. But I don't know. But so if you take away the Pro Bowlers, and Joe Looney didn't give up sacks because he had help or whatever, and the guards kind of, Xavier Su'a-Filo needs to get pushed off a bridge, and Connor did his thing. So it kind of makes sense that Lael Collins gave up the most sacks. But holy shit, man, I just wanted to fix that number so we can do a little better moving forward. Yeah, William. What's wrong with him? It's William. Miss Scouting Pro says, do you think the changes in O-line coaches played a part in this? Well, this is what I think. I think that's an incredibly easy scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? You know how like politics work, to where if something bad happens, we go, damn, what can we blame this on? And then something happens to where you can just put the alibi on that. You go, okay, we'll just blame it on this. I think that's the alibi we're using. Paul Alexander is just the alibi we're using. In my opinion, I think the offensive line just played bad last year. If you look at Lael Collins, the same blocks that he was missing early in the season, he missed them shits at the second half of the season. If you look at Connor Williams, he got bullied a few times, but Connor Williams only gave up sacks because his technique kind of gave him away. Xavier Su'a-Filo, nothing really technical with him. He just got picked up and dropped in Dak's lap. It was some kind of myth that Xavier Su'a-Filo was better than Connor Williams because he was bigger and he couldn't get moved or whatever. But Xavier Su'a-Filo got picked up and moved more than Connor did. The one thing that kind of makes me not say that, though, Miss Scouting Pro, is because I played offensive line. And I hate to be I played the game guy, and I never bring up I played the game. You know what I'm saying? I never like to bring that because I respect all y'all opinions, and if y'all saying the right shit, then y'all saying the right shit. So I don't really play the I played the game guy, but I played the game. I played the game, and I feel like if I would have changed coaches, I still would have won the same amount of battles that I won. I would have lost the same amount of battles that I lost. You know what I'm saying? I think once you learn from a good offensive line coach, those lessons don't miss. Those lessons don't leave you. And Lael Collins was missing on shit that he should have learned in college. You know what I'm saying? Techniques that you learn in college, I think Zach Martin had a bad to average year last year compared to the others, but still was the most dominant player on the offensive line. Let me write that down because I need to definitely address that. Wait a minute. I need to address. What's your name? Johnny? Let me. I'm gonna address that later. Zach was average. Let me put that down from Johnny Lopez. Cool. I think and watch this too. This is another thing too. Shouts out to Cowboy Experience, but I actually did an interview with Joe Looney, and I kind of asked him. I was like, because it was kind of interesting to me, because y'all was asking in the chat box at the time. I was like, Joe, what's the difference between what y'all did pre Paul Alexander and post Paul? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference? Speaking of which, a bunch of high profile samples. I was like, what's the difference? And Joe Looney said it was basically like temperament. You know what I mean? They just didn't like Paul Alexander. So, hey, we just feel happier about having Colombo here. We feel better about playing for Colombo. We feel, da da da, boom, boom, boom. It wasn't nothing technique wise. I don't know where this whole narrative that Paul Alexander was teaching them this technique and they used that, but then when Colombo got here, they used that. It could be something to that. Paul probably did incorporate some kind of technique that wasn't optimal or whatever. But let me just tell y'all what happens on the offensive line. You can learn all you want, but when you get into the actual fight, when you get into the heat of the fight, you just go back to what you're good at. You just go back to what works. It happens so fast. You just go back to what works. So I don't think Paul Alexander being there for 6 months played such a role that it made everybody's technique bad across the board. I don't think that's the case. But I do think politics wise, I think he was the perfect scapegoat to blame the lack of production on. Let me address this from Johnny Lopez. He says he says that he feel like Zach Martin was average to good last year compared to his other seasons. So offensive line coaches, scouts or whatever, we have this thing that we say that when you judge an offensive lineman, you've got to judge them for 68 plays, not 6 to 8 plays. So when we're watching live television in passing, they're selling a story. They're not selling football. They're selling stories. They're selling narratives. They're selling, they're trying to do a little novel for us. You know what I mean? So they're really concerned about the skill players. And they do not bring up the offensive line until something bad happens. So if Zach Martin comes out and he gives up a sack, we go, damn, Zach Martin, you gave up a sack. Perfect example. We used to play against the Giants or whatever, the whole Tyron Smith versus Olivier Vernon thing. Olivier Vernon to get 2 plays on Tyron Smith. But Tyron Smith kick his ass for 66 plays. They're only going to replay Olivier Vernon beating Tyron Smith twice. So in our mind, we going, damn, Tyron Smith getting his ass whooped, dog. Like, damn, he lost again to Olivier. He lost again to Olivier when he only lost 2 times. Maybe 3. But the other 64 plays, Tyron Smith is beating the dog shit out of Olivier Vernon. So if you say, damn, Zach Martin had an average to okay year last year. No, Zach Martin was fantastic. He only gave up 2.5 sacks and won like a third sack or whatever. So Zach Martin. So if he was it's crazy because so let me say this. Joe Looney gave up the least sacks last year. Joe Looney gave up a third of a sack last year, which is hilarious. That's just fire that Joe Looney that he only gave up that much. But Zach Martin was right up under that with 2.5. And Zach Martin gets into a lot of one-on-one conflicts, way more than Joe does. So it makes sense that Zach gave up more sacks than Joe. But opposed to centers, like non-center guys that started, that got the most snaps in, Zach Martin only giving up 2.5 sacks is fantastic. It's just that when we're watching the game, it looks terrible. It looks freaking bad. That's another good point too, DJ Cobb. Salute to you, sir. Thank you for being here. Penalties. We hear guys name a lot for penalties. You know what I'm saying? And some of these penalties can be like 50-50 things. So when we see Tyron Smith, he'll give up a sack and then he'll like hold or something like that. We just heard Tyron Smith named 2 times, so we're thinking that automatically, damn, Tyron Smith having a bad game. But that's not the case. He just gave up a play and he held maybe like once or twice, but he probably beat the shit out that dude for the remainder of the game. But anyway, we're at 7:41. So for the next 19 minutes, I'm going to take calls and I'm going to we're going to do Q&A in the chat box. So what the hell y'all want? We here. What's good? We good. Also, y'all tell Mark Holmes that I'm in the area. So whenever he wants to have me over, and you might want to do a little cookout or something. Tell me I'm here. Preach, Voch. If I had Zach next to me, I might not give up a lot of sacks either. There's a reason why they call him the president. Sure, that's a good point. Um, I think Joe Looney didn't give up a lot of sacks because for the most part he did have a lot of help. If he was blocking the one tech on the backside, the guard was always there. If it was a front side guy, that'll be just the guards man, and then Joe can kind of help where he wants. But hey, giving up a third of a sack a year, that's pretty goddamn good. I hear sirens. That's pretty damn good. But you know, we'll see. Mooseville say you in the DMV, pull up, I'll buy you a beer. Hit me on Twitter. Hit me on Twitter and we'll talk about it. And I will say this though, adding Travis Frederick will definitely help a lot of these guys. Joe Looney really didn't give you a problem in the passing game because he had a lot of help there. It was a lot of combos there for Joe Looney. Excuse me, but where you really miss Travis Frederick is in the run game, man. Like getting to the second level, getting movement on those. Getting movement on those one ticks and identifying blitzes and things like that. That's really where you miss Travis Frederick. So let's see what y'all talking about. Which O line position normally gives up the most? Guards normally give up the most sacks because if you have a dominant three tech, then there's no help there. So if it's like a left tackle, you can put a tight end there. If it's a right tackle, you can put a tight end there for help. If it's a center, either one of those guards can help you. But if you got a gangster at three tech in B gap, that's an automatic one-on-one block. Why can't the tackle help with the three tech? Well, because the tackle got to block the end. And you don't want the tight end blocking the defensive end by himself. So most sacks normally come from the guards that deal with one techs the most, which is right guards, which is interesting because it's opposite for us. Our right guard just happened to be a gangster, but strong side guard, which is our right guy. You think Dak in the front office will settle at 33 mil? I hope they settle. I hope they settle. I didn't mean like he's a bad player. I just meant he's usually very dominant in every game. It feels different and odd seeing him struggle a bit. But you're right, Johnny. Let me tell you something, dog. He was very dominant this year too. He was very. It was plenty times I'm watching film or whatever, just writing this stuff down, breaking it down. It was plenty times I'm watching like, man, like everybody got whooped but Zach Martin. Like Zach Martin gave up so many least sacks. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry, pardon my English, but he didn't give up so many sacks that like I had to add his sacks on with Tyron Smith sacks just to make the video adequate, just to make the video long enough. Zach Martin was very dominant this year. It's just that he got hurt in the middle of the season and he was still whooping ass while he was hurt, and he gave up a sack versus Dontari Poe versus J.J. Watt and I think Ndamukong Suh maybe, or Aaron Donald or something like that. But he ain't give up too many though. He ain't give up too many. Looney was a beast, but we're spoiled with Frederick. Looney was very serviceable. I give you that. He was very serviceable. Any chance the governor takes the left guard spot this year? Who's the governor? That's Connor McGovern. I would love to do what I call it 2020 Operation 2020 O line. I would love to pull that off. Making Lael like a swing everybody guy, put Connor McGovern at left guard, Connor Williams at right tackle. I would love to do that. Let's see. But do I think he starts opening day over Williams? Oh no. That ain't how Dallas do business. Connor Williams will probably be starting left guard, and Connor McGovern will be the backup guard center guy. Most likely. Thanks. Appreciate it, Terrence. Terrence Conner dropping a deuce in the super chat. You a legend out here. Offensive line is the best to draft and pay because they play longer and better around 30 years old. Most positions fall off at 30, except kickers. Yeah, I agree. Offensive linemen have longevity. I agree. Let's see. Who would be the biggest competition in the NFC? Love your content. Salute to you. Appreciate you, brother. The biggest competition. Look, I think we're gonna beat everybody's ass this year. That's just my honest opinion. like, like we're gonna lose some games for the culture just because we can't win all the games. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't go 16-0. We can, but we can't go 16-0. So we're gonna lose some games. But I just think we're gonna whoop everybody's ass though. But the biggest competition, in my opinion, if we got to play the Rams in the championship game, then play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, like that'll be the biggest competition. But that's just my opinion. And I think we'll beat the shot at the Rams. That's just, that's my thoughts. That offensive line ain't as good as it was no more. Like, I think they lost 2 guys on that Rams offensive line. So I think if we playing, we going to, like, beat the shit out of them up front. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. The league and the refs won't allow us to go 16-0. Boy, if they do. The shit talk I'm talking if they do. Let's see. If Tyron Smith can't play left tackle, he can be moved to right tackle. Tyron Smith is fine at right. Tyron Smith is fine at left tackle, sir. He's just fine. Now, if you want to say Tyron Smith has maybe fallen off a little bit, cool. But Tyron Smith is still like a Pro Bowl player. He just ain't a demigod no more. Like, he's a football player now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tyron Smith is just a regular ass. Oh shit. Oh, I unplugged my stuff. All right, my bad. Tyron Smith is a regular ass top 3 football player now. He used to be a demigod. It used to be different. He used to be Kratos, but he's a little more more human now. But still fantastic. Let's see. Would Dallas be better with Jameis Winston? There's that old mess. This is my whole thing about Jameis. Or just any of those guys, really. More so, out of that list of guys, my whole thing about Jameis, and I'll even say about Andy as well, those guys have had talented rosters before. You know what I'm saying? You look at Jameis. First of all, he got his job taken by Ryan Fitzpatrick. First of all, Fitzpatrick took his job. First of all. But Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Adam Humphries, and Chris Godwin is a fantastic receiving corps. With O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate at tight end is fantastic. Doug Martin when he was good, he was a damn good running back. Sorry. No. Andy Dalton with A.J. Green, Sanu, Joe Mixon. He's had a solid group around him too. And the Bengals defense is pretty damn good. No. Marcus Jimmy G. I gotta see Jimmy G play for real. I'm good with Dak, man. I'm good with Dak. That whole trade Dak narrative is no. I'm good with Dak, man. And I know, Brand. I know the only reason you asked is because, hey, Uncle Dave, what's up, Dave? Dave Alexander. I know the only reason you asked is because that topic is kind of hot in the streets. But here's a little secret: if I don't drop a video on it, I think it's nonsense. I just broke the fourth wall there for y'all. I just broke the fourth wall there. You know what I'm saying? So if that comes up in the news, the whole, hey, are we gonna trade Dak? And you looking for Voch to like respond to it, and I don't, then I think it's nonsense. Pure, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Hold on, let me hit this mute button real fast. Hold on. I'm back live again, so don't say nothing crazy. They can hear you. Anyway, what was I saying? Let me go back to my chat box anyway. Back to the here we go. Hey, Tex Lex. What up, Tex Lex? Dropping a dime in the super chat. Appreciate you, sir. And let's see what Uncle Dave was talking about. Deshaun Watson went back to field. We gonna beat the shot Deshaun Watson too, Uncle. That's just how I feel. Appreciate you for the super chat on, but we gonna beat the shot at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't worry about none of that. I ain't worry about that mess. Brian Broader said, "Hey, Nene." Brian Broader said White and Rush aren't ready in an interview, and was okay. So look, I kind of don't want to really address the backup quarterback situation. Let me tell you why. If we lose Dak for a long period of time, I just want the first overall pick so we can draft a stud and come back and win this thing next year. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I don't really think there's a quarterback. You know, like if you want to, let's see, who the hell Brian Hoyer play for? Let me see who the hell Brian Hoyer play for. Like if you want a guy like Brian Hoyer to where if Dak goes out for like 5 games, he can win you 2 or 3. Then I can kind of see that a little bit. If you want to, let's see, Brian Hoyer, he played for the Patriots. Word. Okay, cool. Yeah, Brian Hoyer played for the Patriots. So yeah, I mean, who the hell gonna come play backup quarterback for you? I saw somebody gave a fantastic idea. Somebody was like, how about Robert Griffin? And I was like, But I don't think Coach Evans wants to give up Robert Griffin. So, just in case something happens with young Lamar Jackson, then they'll be good to go. Then, they ain't really got to make no changes in their scheme. Then you got a backup that's won games that can come in and, do your thing. So, backup quarterback, I don't know. We'll see. Some people say Tony Romo's the backup quarterback. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Kaepernick, wouldn't it be nice? Ryan Mallett, no. I wouldn't even want to come play here though because Cowboy fans treat their players like shit. So I wouldn't even want to come play here. I know you're talking about offense, but I'm so nervous about our defense, especially the line and LC. Who is LC on defense? LC. Well, Miss Scouting Pro, I don't know who LC is, but I think the narrative about Dak coming into a great team is false. 4-12 is not a great team. Stop it. I think the defense is still gonna be the one to like lead us a little bit. If you look at how our roster was, left corner, got you, thank you, left corner. Appreciate it, Brandon Williams. That was smart. Left corner. I think like Cheeto's left corner. Yeah, so yeah, we good. This is how good our defense was last year. So like first of all, in terms of did we lose anybody on defense? We didn't lose a soul. The only person that we possibly could have lost was DeMarcus Lawrence, and we got him back. Everybody else was really complementary pieces, and we have those complementary pieces back, and in my opinion, we upgraded them. I think at one tech, Antoine Woods is going to be fine, but I think the difference is that Christian Covington can actually like press him for that first team role, Tyrone Crawford could be playing some early defensive end for you, so Malik Collins can be playing some early 3-tech play. I think Tristan Hill can push for some 3-tech play, in my opinion. Zach said we lost Damian Wilson. So? I care about Damian Wilson, man. Miss Scouting Pro, this is my thing. This is my thing. And I made the analogy 2 live streams ago. We beat some of the better teams in the league last year at Super Saiyan 2. We beat Atlanta. We beat the Saints. We beat the Eagles twice. We beat them at Super Saiyan 2. We beat them without Robert Quinn. We beat them without adding this extra depth on D-line. Like, look at our D-line. Look at our D-line now. Like, once upon a time, Jeremy Mincey, like, we was fighting to get Jeremy Mincey on the team. Now, there are actually good guys on this team that might not make the team at D-line. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're as good as we've ever been on D-line. So, I don't think that's a problem. As far as left corner, Cheeto over there, yeah, Cheeto would be fine at left corner. Byron at right corner, if anything happens to him, if anything happens to him, then Jordan Lewis can step right in and give us some valuable minutes at corner. And then we went to go draft young Michael Jackson. I feel good about our defense, man. If we can beat them with Super Saiyan 2, They don't want us to get the long hair, Miss Scouting Pro. And I don't know if you watch cartoons and that, so I don't know if you get the reference or whatever, but we beat them with Linehan last year. With Linehan. I feel like we've upgraded way too much just to take a step back for the sake of taking a step back. Plus, our defense was so good. Think about how bad our offense was. Like our offense, like they didn't score much. So we punted the ball. They would get the ball back around like the 40, and we would still be a good defense for them. They would still be a good defense for us. Imagine if we start scoring, making them play from behind, and them getting the ball at the 20 every time. Our defense will be much better. Our defense will be much better. So I don't have a problem with our defense, Miss Scouting Pro. And Coach Evans making a fantastic point. I think the Eagles' best quarterback is gone. So when we were talking about these other quarterbacks or whatever, I was talking about figuring it out. Finding a quarterback, so when you draft quarterbacks, you ain't necessarily looking for the guy that could throw it the hardest. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you it's not all about arm talent. That's like if you drafting in basketball and you draft the basketball player that can throw the ball at the rim the hardest. Like that's what that is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it's about, can you win with this person? Can you create a formula to win with this person? Ryan Mallett got arm talent, but you can't win with him. Matt Ryan, fantastic player, but you got to figure these little nuances out to win with him. He's always had a stacked receiving core. Matt Ryan always had a stacked receiving core, stacked running backs. They didn't go to the playoffs last year. He didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt. They just didn't go. You know? Matt Stafford, light years in terms of arm talent, light years ahead of Dak Prescott. He had Megatron for many years. He boom, boom, boom. You can't win with him. Matt Stafford has Eric Ebron. Ebron looks like trash. Eric Ebron go play with Andrew Luck. Ebron that dude again. Ebron that dude. I used to be like, yo, I want the big arm. I want the big talent. I want all this. I used to keep saying that. I would rather have a guy that I can win with. Coach Evans just made the point. Look, Joe Flacco got a better arm than Lamar Jackson. But if you win with Lamar Jackson, you keep playing with Lamar Jackson. Look, you run the ball, you play defense, you let Lamar Jackson use his legs, you win. Dak Prescott has shown you for 3 years in a row that he wins. Nick Foles wins. You can take that young hotshot Carson Wentz all you want to, but if Nick Foles winning, you might want to keep Nick Foles. It is what it is, y'all. But look, peep this out, man. We're going to drop this Lael Collins bashing, this bashing of Lael Collins and his 8 or so sacks. Here's a dime, fam. I do need to go back to my day job. Appreciate you, Unc. Whenever you get time, I just dropped this link. That is me breaking down the sacks that are Lael Collins' fault, okay? So as soon as we get done here, I want y'all to click that link, and we're going to go over and watch Lael Collins. And when you get there, I want you to hashtag Kyle Bowler. They know about Kyle Bowler, his arm talent. When we get to that video, I want y'all to go hashtag straight from the stream, hashtag Yo Voch, I came from the stream, hashtag stream gang, whatever. And I may take some of those people and put y'all in the fantasy football race or whatever. So we can put y'all in that league and we do all that. So, hey, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Let's go watch me bash Lael Collins. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski. The Pisky is free. Salute.